Hello, and welcome back to Evolve Every Day. Have you ever felt like the more you give, the less you get back? That your kindness is somehow seen as a weakness? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most self-sabotaging behaviors, people-pleasing. We'll explore why being too nice can actually hurt you and how to reclaim your power by learning when to be a little colder, a little more direct. Trust me, the lessons we're about to uncover from ancient wisdom are game changers, so make sure you stick around until the very end. You know, the most foolish behavior is to secretly want something for yourself, but to speak only of high morals and selflessness. In the end, you just lose face and earn a bad reputation. Aren't you tired of it? If you were just a little simpler, a little more direct, a little more realistic, even a little colder, you would be so much happier. The greatest folly in life is wasting your kind heart on people who don't deserve it. What I'm about to share isn't always easy to hear, so be sure to watch to the end to truly grasp this ancient art of self-preservation. Remember this: sometimes pleasing a dog is better than pleasing the wrong person. In psychology, there's a principle that perfectly explains this. When applied to relationships, it means that if you are the only one giving, the only one being good to someone, not only will you fail to receive gratitude, but you will make them see your kindness as an obligation. They'll feel entitled to it, and their demands will grow without limit, relentlessly exploiting your generosity. The author San Mao wrote about this in one of her books. She shared a story from when she was studying abroad in Europe. Before she left, her family repeatedly told her to be patient, to take care of those around her, to always try and see things from their perspective, and that it was okay to be taken advantage of a little. She took her parents' words to heart. She treated everyone with a warm and gentle spirit, often taking the initiative to help her roommates clean, even making their beds for them. However, her roommates weren't grateful as she had imagined. Instead, they exploited her kindness, ordering her around to do the dirty, tiring chores. Faced with their increasingly unreasonable demands, she always gave in, always tried to satisfy them. But can that kind of sacrifice ever truly earn you genuine friendship? The answer was a resounding no. During a routine room inspection, San Mao, who always followed the rules, was wrongly blamed by the headmaster. And in that moment, not a single one of her roommates stood up for her. In fact, they mocked her. It was then that she finally understood. Not all kindness is repaid with kindness. She chose to move out of the dorm. When you are too good to someone, they will walk all over you. But if you treat them with a bit more indifference, they suddenly start to respect you. It's a strange but true part of human nature. We all see people like this around us. We often praise them for having high emotional intelligence. Being observant and perceptive isn't a bad thing, but when you're excessively catering to the feelings of others, it's no longer perception, it's pandering. It's that people-pleasing personality we so often talk about. This isn't an unfamiliar concept. In our social lives, many of us have a people pleaser inside. I once had a colleague everyone in the company called the highest EQ person. He never argued with anyone. He knew full well that helping a coworker finish their project would exhaust him and leave him feeling resentful. But to be liked by everyone, he'd stay up late, working overtime to do someone else's job. In friendships, constantly giving in only causes you to lose your sense of self, making you weaker and weaker. His people-pleasing had no principles, no boundaries. He made himself miserable just to keep others happy. And that misery was just a way of sending a silent message. I'm being so good to you, can you please be a little good back to me? That's the one thing people-pleasers want to say, but are too afraid to. They never dare to ask for anything from others, but on the flip side, they never refuse a request made of them. These people try with all their might to please, to prove themselves, desperate to be liked, but the indifference of others just pushes them deeper into the abyss. People with this personality trait are terrified of conflict. They don't dare to express their true thoughts or communicate their negative feelings. Gradually, they start living a fake life, and ironically, they feel more and more worthless. Because they are so afraid of being disliked, they are always watching, always trying to anticipate the needs of others and immediately meet them, no matter how unreasonable, just to avoid being rejected. To fit in, you feel you must not cause conflict, even if it means sanding down all of your own edges. But remember this, the more you try to please others, the cheaper you become in their eyes. You feel smaller, and you are valued less. Pleasing others is an act of self-harm. It is the greatest violation of your own self-worth and your own life. So, how do you change this deep-seated need to please? I would rather betray the world than let the world betray me. This is a famous quote from the ancient strategist Cao Cao. Think about him. Many people shrink away from the statement. They don't dare to agree with it. But I'm telling you, successful people have this mentality. The moment you stop hating that sentence is the moment your opportunity will arrive. People pleasers live with this constant, nagging thought in the back of their minds. I have to do something for people to like me. I have to give up a piece of myself to earn their affection. But let me tell you, being liked by others is not your purpose in life. On the contrary, your true purpose is to find and fall completely in love with yourself. These are the people who always play the role of the peacekeeper, desperately trying to maintain harmony, even when conflict breaks out. They think it's their job to apologize, even when it's someone else's fault. You need to understand this, and I mean really let it sink in. Having a conflict with someone, being left behind by someone, or failing to meet someone's expectations will not destroy you. Your life will go on. Instead of constantly laying your self-respect down on the altar of other people's approval, find the courage to please yourself. A life well lived is a life spent doing the things you truly love. A person who doesn't cherish themselves will never receive genuine appreciation from others. A person who doesn't love themselves will never receive true love from others. Those who try to please everyone are destined to live a diminished life, like an orphan tiptoeing around someone else's home. Instead of endlessly trying to please them, showcase your own personality so powerfully that they feel compelled to please you. The people who truly value you will value your confidence and your spirit, not your fake humility. Every single one of your troubles, you caused them. A student once asked me why, after giving his all to everyone around him, those same people not only showed no gratitude, but actively disrespected him, even bullied him. He asked me, "Professor, why is it like this?" In our society, people like him are not rare, and most of them bring this misery upon themselves. There is no outcome that you did not, in some way, create for yourself. Why don't people take you seriously? Because you have no principles. When someone says something is good, you agree. When they say it's bad, you agree with that too. At first, they might think you're just easygoing, but over time, they'll just see you as a fool. So many people get this twisted. They think being polite to everyone, never daring to offend anyone, and acting like some kind of saint is a virtue. That's not tolerance. It's a complete lack of boundaries. In the beginning, people might say thank you, but after a while, even saying thank you feels like a waste of their breath. The truly strong people in this world are crystal clear about who they love and who they don't. Why don't people take you seriously? Because you don't know how to say no. Any task that comes your way, you accept. Anything someone hands you, you treat it like a treasure. Over time, people will start treating you like a trash can. The moment they have garbage they need to get rid of, they'll dump it on you because they don't dare dump it anywhere else. Deep down, there's a part of human nature that preys on weakness. Why don't people take you seriously? Because you don't know how to use your anger. You stay silent when you should be furious, and you get upset over things that don't matter. A person who never gets angry earns no respect. A person who is angry every day earns no fear. The mark of a powerful person is knowing how to find the right time, the right reason, and the right moment to get angry. to let everyone know exactly where your boundaries are. Let me share a personal experience with you, and I want you to really think about it. The truth is, in every first encounter, we should understand that people themselves aren't scary, but human nature is. People will respect you at first simply because they don't understand you, and because of that, they won't dare to do anything risky. Over a decade ago, when I was still working in the corporate world, our department got a new manager. The first day he met me, he was incredibly respectful, nodding and greeting me politely because he had no idea who I was. Then, this manager began to test every single person in our department. When he got to me, the easygoing guy, he started to pick me apart, even berating me. But when he tested my other colleagues, he quickly realized they weren't pushovers. In front of them, this same manager would become as meek as a lamb. One time, I was running late and forgot to call ahead. He chewed me out for what felt like an eternity, screaming about how I didn't respect him, how I didn't take him seriously. I almost quit my job over it. But another colleague of mine, he would come and go as he pleased. The manager didn't dare say a single word to him. In fact, he'd often ask if he was doing okay. Even now, as I'm creating this content, I can still see his disgusting face in my mind. It took me years to finally understand that all of those terrible consequences were my own fault. From that moment, I learned that how others treat you doesn't depend on them. It depends entirely on you. It's because you're too kind, always thinking of others before yourself. It's because you're too easygoing, enduring everything without ever knowing how to refuse. It's because you haven't learned a tough lesson of being decisive and standing your ground. Kindness has to have a spine. Generosity needs to have rules. If you're just indiscriminately nice, if you hurt yourself just to please others, you become a doormat. Don't be the person who says yes to everything. Agreeing to every request, giving away anything that's asked of you, forgiving every mistake, accepting every hurt, you might think this makes you a good person, but it doesn't. It just makes you a target. Even the best people will eventually be tempted to walk all over you. You have to understand, people aren't inherently scary, but human nature can be. The moment they see you're a pushover, they'll start bothering you constantly. The moment they realize you're too accommodating, they'll push your boundaries even further. When they see you never say no, they'll just keep demanding more. And once they get used to your submission, they can't stand your resistance. Once they're accustomed to your concessions, they can't handle your rejection. It's a harsh truth. People tend to pick on the weak and fear the strong. If you lack a backbone, they'll push you around. If you show some fire, they'll think twice. If you're firm, they'll actually try to please you. When someone tries to take advantage of you for the first time, they're not just being a jerk, they're testing the waters to see if you're an easy target. If your reaction shows them you are, they'll keep doing it. But if your actions show them you're not to be messed with, they'll back off and go find someone else to bother. So, when people repeatedly take advantage of you, it's not entirely their fault. It's yours. You're the one who, step by step, taught them how. You have to be a good person, but you have to be a strategic one. There's an old saying that goes something like, a good person may be deceived by others, but never by the universe. An evil person may be feared by others, but never by the universe. The idea is that cosmic justice will prevail. But reality teaches us a different, harsher lesson. Good people get taken advantage of all the time, and cruel people are often feared and respected. Does the universe really punish the wicked? Let's not forget what Lao Tzu said. Heaven and earth are not benevolent. They treat all creation like straw dogs. The universe is impartial. It doesn't have feelings. It's indifferent. The universe is just up there, doing its thing, completely unconcerned with the petty dramas of who's taking advantage of whom down here on Earth. In the cutthroat world of business, you see ruthless people cheating each other to get ahead, and the universe doesn't bat an eye. The Tao Te Ching teaches us that the cosmos operates without sentiment. It just lets things unfold naturally. Think about it. When a natural disaster strikes, does it spare the good and only take the wicked? Of course not. It hits everyone, proving that the universe doesn't pick sides. This means we have to combine our kindness with street smarts. Kindness without strategy is just naivety. To survive in this world, how can you deal with difficult people if you don't have a little bit of cunning? The golden rule you learned in kindergarten? That's for dealing with other good people. You can't just be a good person. You have to be a good person with an edge. When you appear a little difficult to others, your relationships often last longer. Why? Because the fundamental reason most relationships fall apart is due to expectations leading to disappointment. If you're overly nice from the start, they take your kindness for granted. Then, the moment you do something that doesn't meet their sky-high expectations, they resent you for it. But if you start out by letting them see that you're no pushover, you lower their expectations. Then, when you do something unexpectedly nice for them, it feels like an amazing gift. You don't need to be a porcupine, pricking everyone you meet, but you must have some quills. You can be kind, but you have to be sharp. Look, I can treat you to a $100 dinner or buy a round of expensive drinks, no problem. But if you owe me $50, I expect to be paid back. That's a principle. If someone orders you around, "Hey, go get me a water," in a demanding tone, and you just do it, that bottle of water has zero value. They'll just think it's your job to serve them. And if you let that become a habit, the one time you don't do it, they'll be furious with you. The attitude others have toward you is something you cultivate. So what's the right way to handle this? When they demand you do something, don't. Then, later, when they least expect it, you surprise them by bringing them a drink. That's when the gesture has value. A truly valuable contribution isn't something given on demand, it's something given by choice. I can give it to you, but you can't demand it from me. What I do for you willingly, you'll appreciate. But what you demand and I do for you, you'll just see me as weak. When you finally learn to say no to people's requests, to push back a little, you'll be amazed to find that people start to respect you. You can't be everything to everyone. You don't need everyone to like you. You just need the people who truly love you to love you even more. As for the ones who don't, just let them go. Never, ever pretend to be some kind of saint. The most foolish thing you can do is want one thing for yourself, your own benefit, but talk as if you're motivated by high morals. In the end, you just end up looking like a hypocrite and losing all credibility. You see it all the time. You barely know someone, but you invite them out to eat, hoping to get something from them. You only wanted to spend, say, $20 on lunch, but you put on a big show and say, "Order whatever you like." And when they actually order something expensive, you're secretly fuming inside. You really don't want to go to that party, but you can't bring yourself to say no. So you go, and then you spend the whole night miserable, complaining about how fake and pretentious everyone is. Someone owes you money, and deep down, you desperately want it back. But you tell them, "Oh, it's no problem, take your time." And the second they walk away, you're cursing them out for being so unreliable. Aren't you exhausted? Just try being a little simpler, a little more real, a little more direct, even a little more detached. You'll find so much more happiness that way, because the greatest folly in life is giving your kind heart to people who simply don't deserve it. If these lessons resonated with you, if you found something valuable in this story, please show your support. Give this video a like, subscribe to Evolve Every Day so you don't miss our next chapter, and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. But most importantly, I want to hear from you. What's one area in your life where you're going to start being more direct and true to yourself? Let's continue the conversation down in the comments.